from the betting capital of the world. Giving raw and real breakdowns of mixed martial arts and recapping UFC events like no one else, with producer Martin on the ones and twos and combat sports betting expert Effie. You're listening to Any Action Sportscast. Any Action Sportscast. So put your headphones on and let's take this podcast to the next level.
This isn't a podcast. It's a sportscast.
Welcome back to the number one sportscast in the world, where we give full card predictions and a betting breakdown. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn on those post notifications, and share this video as well. UFC 74, Albazi versus France. I'm looking forward to breaking down this card with you guys, but before we do that, Effie, I'm back.
Yes, sir. You guys heard that correct. Back in the flesh is producer Martin on the ones and twos. Man, it feels so good to be back in the original Any Action Sportscast studio, just like we did on day one. Super happy to have you back, bro. What is up?
Dude, you tell me what's up. I mean, I'm here to break down UFC cards. I know I've had a big break, but you're killing the channel. You've been keeping it afloat. I've been talking to you about getting back into the program, and I wanted to take my time, slowly ease my way back into it. And you know what? We're in the OG studio. I'm in my little crap producer corner. I'm excited to break down these cards. I mean, it's just a way for me to enjoy the sport a little bit more.
Dude, I'm pumped. We have 13 straight weeks of UFC cards, and I got some bad news, dude. We're actually negative units on the year. We're down a little over 3 units, so it's a good time for you to come back and get us up, get that bankroll up brick by brick. But yeah, man, without any further ado, we do have the Knights on the Stanley Cup Final Game 1 on Saturday. Take their money line. It's easy money. Without any further ado, let's get right into the fights.
Any Action Sportscast. Opening up the card is a light heavyweight bout. Maxim Grishin. He's 32, 9-2. He's 39 years old, and he's going against Philipe Lins El Monstro, 16-5 at 37 years old.
Yeah, man, we have a fight straight out of the elderly division right here, and straight away, we have action. I took Maxim Grishin here for 1 unit at minus 135. And I know I'm betting on a 39-year-old fighter here, which is super worrisome, but I think he's a better overall striker here in this fight. This fight should play out on the feet. I don't think that Lins is going to have the cardio, to grapple Grisham down for, 10 minutes of this fight. It's going to be a stand and bang fight. Grisham's pretty dangerous, man. He won the $1 million in the PFL, but then when he came to the UFC, he was a total dud. Hasn't really impressed me while in the UFC, man. I know he knocked out Ovince St. Preux in his last fight, but that guy's washed. I'm going with Maxim Grishin, man. He's only been knocked out twice in his career, and I think he's going to be durable enough to win a decision here on volume and being the better technical striker here. So give me a unit shot right away to start the night. Maxim Grishin at minus 135.
Up next in the bantamweight division, we got Luan Lacerda. He's the 12-2, minus 140, a slight favorite. He's 30 years old, taking on Damon Blackshear. Like the last fighter, this guy is the monster. He's 12-5 and 1 at a near even. He's 28 years old. Effie.
Dude, I'm going with the underdog. I'm going with Blackshear here, first underdog pick of the card. I don't think I'm going to be able to bet him here. Lacerda is dangerous, man. He's a good fighter. He made his debut against Cody Stamann, and he impressed, man. In January, I know the card was in Brazil, so who knows? Maybe Cody Stamann had a little bit of jet lag there, but he put up a good fight, man. And it was actually Lacerda that ended up being the person that got the takedown in that fight, not Cody Stamann, which was surprising to see, man. And for a debut fighter, he looked really, really good. A lot of volume, good striking, good technical striking, good defense, and very good grappling against someone that's, a proven veteran, Cody Stamann. And on the other side, man, this is going to be a fight, Martin, between two grapplers. Blackshear, I think, in my opinion, will have the better wrestling. I do think that he's too comfortable off his back, though. So I am worried that Lacerda will be able to win minutes on the mat. But as far as the striking, dude, I'm going to go with Blackshear, man. He's going to have a reach advantage here in this fight, and I think that it's going to be a pretty 50-50 fight overall. I am going to lean with Blackshear. I think that he's a quicker fighter on the feet, and I feel like we did see a little bit of a lower level Cody Stamann in that fight due to the jet lag. So give me Blackshear here to win a decision. I'm really interested to see the grappling exchanges in this fight, and it's going to be a good scrap for sure.
Up next in the strawweight division, we got Frey, 11-8, plus 110, 38 years old, taking on Elise, 6-3, minus 135 at 30 years old. Effie.
Dude, I'm going with Elise Reed here, and I'm super tempted to bet on her, but I'm not going to, man. I'm going to stay disciplined, and I'm not going to bet Elise Reed here in this fight. But I do think that she's going to win this fight, man. I am pissed that I missed that plus even money, like plus 100 money on Reed. Money's been coming in on her, so now she's all the way to minus 130. And, Frey's just not very good, man. She got slept really, really bad in her last fight. And even before then, I never really thought she was really good of a fighter. She's going to be, trying to stand and bang here if she has a really low fight IQ, because the way you beat Elise Reed is you out-grapple her. And she just got submitted by Loma Lukbumi, and that's Loma's first ever submission, man. So Loma had never had a pro submission win ever until she fought Elise Reed. That's the kind of level, of a grappler Elise Reed is. But it was, not for nothing. I got to give her credit. She took Loma's back and was in a pretty good spot to end round 1 in that fight before getting finished in round 2. And on the feet, dude, she kind of impressed me. The commentators were actually mentioning that she had the speed advantage over the Muay Thai fighter Loma Lukbumi, where we did have a little bit over 2 units on Loma. So I was a little surprised to see that, man. I definitely have to give her credit, where that's where I gotta go with Frey here. Her mentality is, well, she's from the same gym as Sam Hughes. Sam Hughes actually beat Reed, and the way she did it was, the wrestling, man. Reed, I'll be honest, Martin doesn't have very good takedown defense at all. I'm pretty sure you could take her down. But I'm going with Reed. I'm not going to bet her at minus 130. Still feels fair. I feel that price is justified, and I think that she could knock out Frey. I'll be honest, man. I think Frey loses this fight and gets cut, and I'm going with the fighter that's 8 years younger, at Elise Reed, man. Minus 130. Give me Elise Reed via second round knockout.
Up next in the bantamweight division, we got Daniel Santos, 10-2. He's the moderate favorite. You can catch him at some books at minus 200. He's 28 years old. He's taking on Johnny Munoz Jr., 12-2, the slight underdog, 30 years old. Effie.
I'm going with Willie Cat Santos in this fight, and I'm not betting it because this is a rebooked fight, Martin. This fight was supposed to happen, I think, a little over 2 weeks ago, and I think Santos pulled out on weigh-in day, something about an illness, or he was sick. So that's a little bit of a red flag. And so at that time, Martin, the line was minus 175, and I had bet him for 2 units. And now, I think he just said that he was minus 200. He's been steamed a little bit more. He's around minus 230, minus 235, and that's a little too wide for me, because I do think that he's going to win the fight, but I can't justify paying that much on a line knowing I had a better one a few weeks ago. So I'm just going to pass betting-wise, but I do think that Santos will win this fight. He's probably a safe parlay piece. Munoz Jr. is going to look to grapple in this fight, because if he stands and bangs with Willie Cat Santos, he's probably going to get knocked out, dude. Santos has really good Brazilian Muay Thai. He walks forward from the same gym as Charles Oliveira at Shooter Box. So he's getting good training in, and I'm really impressed by him, man. He's a good fighter, and like I said, I bet on him already previously. I'm not going to do it this time. I think the value is kind of gone. Munoz Jr., like I said, man, if he gets... it's one of those things where I was just talking about earlier. He needs to sprawl and brawl in this fight, Santos, and that's how he wins this fight. I think it's going to be a pretty fairly easy fight for Santos. I think he gets a finish in that second round, so I'm going with Santos via second round knockout.
Up next in the This Fool Still Fighting division, we have Andrei Arlovski. He's 34-21. At some books, you can catch him at plus 100. He's 44 years old. He's taking on Dontel Mays, the Lord Kong, 9-5, the slight favorite at minus 125. He's 31 years old. Effie.
Dude, I don't know if you're trying to diss Arlovski or Mays as far as like this guy's still fighting. Arlovski is 1,000,000 years old, been fighting forever, and then Dontel Mays, as in like he hasn't gotten cut yet. Dude, this dude is not very good. I'm going with the old veteran, another underdog pick here. I think now money's coming in a little bit more on Arlovski. He's more of a pick-em now area, so that plus money might be gone at your book. But I'm going with him, man. Obviously, the experience, and you can go on and on about how long and his, resume and stuff. But this is more of a fade on Dontel Mays, dude. Dontel Mays, other than being really, really big and long and having decent leg kicks, he's not very good at fighting at all, dude. You can't really grapple for more than 5 minutes. He doesn't have a cardio, no really IQ either. So I think that Arlovski is going to be able to win a decision here. Like, he's been winning decisions against lower level fighters recently in the UFC, and I feel like this doesn't really, change. I feel like in the Apex, there's going to be a lot of forced action here where the counterpuncher in Arlovski is going to be able to get off. So I feel like the veteran's going to be able to put on a lesson here. Give me Arlovski via decision. I am not betting this fight. You got to be a maniac to bet this fight. You got to be a gremlin. So I'm going to pass. I'm just going to watch as a fan, but I'm going with the vet as far as my pick. Give me Arlovski via decision.
Up next in the bantamweight division, we have John Castañeda, the sexy Mexi, 19-6, 31 years old, taking on Tehik, 18-4, 27 years old. You can pretty much get this fight out of Pick'em. Effie.
Yeah, man. A short notice fight for Gafurov here. And if it wasn't for that, I'd probably pick him in this fight. But I am going to go with Castañeda here. He's a very good fighter. Well-rounded, like I said. Good jiu-jitsu, good striking. Throws heavy bombs. He actually rocked Willie Cat Santos, we talked about earlier, in their fight. And then he ended up just kind of gassing out. And Santos Jr. was just a dog and had that chin and was able to withstand. But Castañeda is a good striker, man. Dangerous guy on the feet for sure. And Gafurov is going to be looking to get this guy down. He's a very good grappler in his own right. He's from Tajikistan. And those dudes are just like the dudes from Dagestan. Kind of hard to fade a guy from the Eastern Eastern Bloc, Soviet Union type country. You know the wrestling is going to be on point, but I do think this is going to go to decision here. I do think that Castañeda is going to win. I think that Vegas has to pick him as for a reason because they respect Gafurov, man. He's good grappling, good ability to just keep shooting, good gas tank. And I'm excited to see him make his debut, but on such short notice, he's weighed in heavy before. So I am, going to be looking to see how he weighs in on Friday. But I'm going to go with Castañeda here, man. Give me Castañeda to win via decision. It should be a good fight, man. A lot of bantamweight fights on this card, and I'm not complaining, man, because that's like one of the most exciting divisions in the UFC, in my opinion. So like I said, man, give me Castañeda via decision.
Up next in the welterweight division, we have Elizeu Zaleski, 23-7, -110, 36 years old, taking on Abubakar Nurmagomedov, 17-3, near even at -110, 33 years old. FE.
Yeah, man, super close fight, and a lot of questions are going to be answered here. Well, I want to start with Nurmagomedov, the cousin of Khabib. I feel like he gets a lot of hate because he got triangled in guard from Zawada in that fight a few years ago. And, it's just a terrible look because that was a pretty rookie mistake there. But his wrestling's not that good compared to the other Dagestanis on that team. I mean, it's not bad, don't get me wrong, but, he's coming off beating Omar Gadzhiev, where that guy's just kind of, not very good of a fighter, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him cut soon. The striking from Abubakar, to me, looked like it improved in his most recent fight. He had a really good jab in that fight, but before that, I haven't been impressed by him, I'll be honest. Kind of the worst guy on that team, him and Tagir. A little bit of lower level guys compared to people like Islam or Umar or, Usman Nurmagomedov, guys like that. Those guys are the cream of the crop on that team. Abubakar, finds himself getting outshined by those guys, but he's not a bad fighter. And then Zaleski, dude, he's dangerous. So there's a reason this is a pick'em. Usually you would see someone like Nurmagomedov from Russia getting a big time favorite number next to them, but they know, man, this dude's dangerous. Zaleski, very powerful striker, and we haven't seen this guy fight in forever. So he's coming off really, really beating down his last opponent, where the ref didn't call the fight, Saint Denis against Saint Denis, to where the non-stoppage was so bad, Martin, that the UFC kicked that ref off the card. They gave the rest of his assignments to other refs because they're like, what the hell was that? What the heck just happened? Why didn't that guy call the fight? A very insane performance, but he hasn't fought since then. Very weird. I don't know if he got caught with steroids or he was injured or what was going on, maybe visa issues. So very strange to see him have a really good performance and then not come back until he's 36 years old. So I feel like he wasted a lot of years there, or a lot of time, I should say. So I am going to hesitantly go with Abubakar to win this fight. I think that he is getting a little bit of hate for no reason. Because he did get submitted from guard a few years ago, like I said, and the rest of his team is so good. But give me him to win this fight, not confident. Around this time, Martin, the beers should be beginning to flow. The nights should be beginning to play, and this fight should be a 15-minute grappling fight, and I think it's going to be pretty boring. So give me Nurmagomedov to win via decision.
Up next in the light and heavyweight division, we have Jamie Mullarkey, 16-5. He's fighting out of Australia. He's 28 years old. He's taking on Muhammodjon Naimov. He's 8-2. He's 28 years old. FE.
Yeah, man, another short notice replacement fight here. Mullarkey goes from being the biggest underdog on the card, fighting Guram Kutsaladze, to now being the biggest favorite on the card, around -400. And I feel like if you're around -400, you should be finishing the fight. And I do think that he's going to be able to finish this fight. The Duraev, his name is, I can't say his name, is super durable, but I think isn't prepared because on regular full camp notice, I do think that the odds would be a little closer, but it's on such short notice that I feel like his game plan, of grappling is just going to be able to gas him out earlier than he should. I feel like if Mullarkey can sprawl and brawl, he's going to be able to win this fight. I think he's a better striker on the feet, the more dangerous fighter on the feet, the minute winner on the feet, and I think that he's going to be able to win this fight. Obviously, everyone's going to be parlaying him, but I actually think that he's going to get inside the distance, so maybe take a look at that prop, probably a better odds, maybe inside under 2.5 there, but yeah, give me Mullarkey via TKO in that third round.
Up next in the flyweight division, we have Karine Killer Silva, -225, 29 years old. She's taking on Ketlen Souza, 13-3, +175, the slight underdog, 27 years old. FE.
Yeah, man, we have action on this fight. We have a bet on this fight. I took the under 2.5 rounds in this fight at -105 for 1.15 units. I'm really happy with that price, man. I understand it's a women's MMA fight, very rarely finished, but dude, the numbers are there and the stylistic matchup is there for me to bet this bet. So Silva has won every single one of her fight via finish. She has never won a decision, and Souza has been finished in every one of her losses, man. And then stylistically, Silva has a very dangerous guard when she does get it to the mat. She's a pretty dangerous striker on her own right. She throws heavy bombs. And when she does land, she lands heavy. Whereas Silva is a really good striker, and she can knock out Silva at any moment in this fight as well. Well, not about any moment, but she's going to be able to tee off on Silva if she isn't smart. I think that in the grappling realm, like I said, I think that Souza will be able to finish the fight. And I think once Souza gets this girl down, she's going to be able to finish the fight. I think this fight ends in that second or first round. I don't even think this gets to round 3, and I think the takedown defense from Silva is what's going to cost her this fight. And I really like that under 2.5. I was surprised at that line, so I had to put 1.15 units on that bet. So give me Silva to win this fight via first round stoppage. I'm going to go with submission. And for the under 2.5 to hit, let's go.
Next in the flyweight division, we have Tim Elliott, 18-12-1, the slight favorite at -175. He's 36 years old. He's taking on Victor Altamirano, 12-2, the slight underdog, plus 145, 32 years old. FE.
And dude, so you want to talk about narrative nation, where people want to talk about stuff outside the octagon that's going to affect stuff that happens inside the octagon? What's your take on the whole Tim Elliott getting cheated on by his teammate, by his wife, this, viral stuff going on? How do you think that's going to affect him in this fight?
I mean, obviously there's got to be some impact, right? You had to be, especially with someone like Tim Elliott. It's not like he's some superstar that just, you put him up against anyone and he's getting that W. You're skeptical if he's going to win or not. So it's like, coming into this, obviously he's going to have to put it behind him. So can he put it behind him is the question. I mean, it's going to bug him slightly, and it obviously is going to fuel him. So, I mean, it sucks. I mean, that is just crazy. I mean, what a schmuck move. But I think this fight is going to make or break him.
Yeah, man, it can either really motivate him. We saw Mackenzie Dern get divorced and then just mollywop Angela Hill. Divorced Dern was like a mythical fighter. And we might see the same thing here with Tim Elliott. Or we might see him, look really bad. Don't forget, his gym was, James Krause's gym, the dude that was gambling in all those fights. And so he lost his gym, he lost his wife. Man, we just need to have Francis Ngannou versus Kroom in the PFL immediately. That's who his first opponent should be, without a doubt. Just insane stuff. But as far as the fight goes, Tim Elliott's getting old, man. He's 36 years old as a flyweight, where I know Altamirano is 32. He's not the young guy either, but it's tough to back a guy at -180, -185 in Tim Elliott, where I think it's going to go to decision. I know he's talking about in his media day, he wants to knock out, he wants to get on the mic and all this and that, but that's just not how he fights. He's a grinder, a grappler, a pretty savvy veteran, pretty good on the feet. Throws a lot of volume from a lot of different angles. Man, he's very wild in that sense. And so does Altamirano. Altamirano likes to throw a lot of spitting stuff, and that might leave him open to getting taken down here. This fight comes down to me. Does Altamirano keep distance? Can he sprawl and brawl? And I don't know, man. It might be a tough fight for him, but on the same side, with all the stuff that's going on with Tim Elliott, I don't think I'm going to be parlaying or betting Tim Elliott at -180 or betting him straight up at all, man. Give me Tim Elliott to win this fight, but I wouldn't mind a bet on Altamirano, man. Those odds are wide to me, so it's all about betting value. So I think that a bet on Altamirano isn't a terrible look, but I am ultimately going to go with Tim Elliott to win a decision.
Up next in the lightweight division, we have Jim Miller. He may not be A1, but he sure is A10. Moderate underdog, plus 200. He's 39 years old. He's taking on Jared Flash Gordon, 19-6. The moderate favorite, -250, 34 years old. FE.
Yeah, man. A weird fight, in my opinion, considering Gordon just got knocked out less than a month ago against Bobby Green. I know it was a headbutt that started the sequence, but I mean, he took damage. Very strange that he comes in at -180, -190 in this fight. But, on the other side, I get it. Jim Miller just got, finished by Hernandez, or lost to Hernandez, where he almost got that finish in that third round himself. And it seems that if the fight, gets extended recently against Jim Miller, he tends to lose. He tends to beat these up-and-coming guys that just aren't ready for that. He's a gatekeeper, pretty much. They're not ready for that next step. Whereas Gordon, is a veteran in his own right. He's been there forever, but he has very low output in fights. I think this does go to 3 rounds. I think that he does win a decision, but at -190, man, it's tough because he got knocked out recently. And not to mention the knockout and the damage he took, but that's 2 weight cuts, not, too far apart at 36 years old. But dude, no way I can back or pick Miller at 39 years old. He wants to get to UFC 300, so I'm not really sure how much he wants to win. I feel like he just wants to keep fighting. So yeah, give me Jared Gordon to win this fight. It's going to be tough though because he doesn't throw enough volume to easily take rounds. He's a pretty good grappler, but so is Jim Miller, and Jim Miller's definitely going to have those power shots in those countering exchanges. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. I forgot against a guy that just got knocked out, a month ago, less than that, but. Give me Jared Gordon, very hesitantly though. Give me Jared Gordon to win a decision.
In the co-main event, in the featherweight division, we have Alex Caceres, Bruce Leroy, 20-13. The slight favorite, -175. He's 34 years old. He's taking on Daniel Pineda. The Pit, 28-14. He's the slight underdog, +140, 37 years old. FE.
Yeah, man. I actually think that you have a little something to say about this fight.
This is going to be my first official pick of me being back. I'm taking on and picking Bruce Leroy. Straight up, good little parlay piece.
Oh.
That's going to be my first official pick. The vibe is there, you know what I mean? Like, this is what I do, I'm that spiritual guy, you know what I mean? The underdog whisperer. Not an underdog, but, come on, it's Bruce Leroy.
Yeah, man, I have money on this fight as well. I have the fight doesn't go the distance at -175. I put a 1-unit shot on that because I think that Caceres is going to finish this fight. And even if he doesn't, I think Pineda early can finish this fight. I think Pineda is going to look good in the beginning part of this fight, but as it gets extended, I think that he's going to fade big time. Super happy for Caceres, man. He's a super, savvy veteran, been around the UFC for a long time, and it's pretty exciting to see what he's done for his career, man. That knockout against Juicy J. Rosa in his last fight, that head kick was insane. I had Juicy J in that fight, and that was a tough loss. But, one of those where if you lose money, you're at least happy to see a knockout like that. But a pretty dangerous striker. Both guys are pretty competent on the feet. I think that Bruce Leroy has probably the worst grappling in this fight, but it shouldn't really matter. I think that's going to stay on the feet. I think both guys want to exchange in this fight, and it's going to be an exciting fight. I don't think that it's going to go to the cards. I think that someone gets finished in this fight, and I think that's going to be Pineda. Give me Alex Caceres to win this fight, along with Martin, and win a... Let's go with knockout in that second round. Let's go with the second round knockout, Alex Caceres.
In the main event, a 5-round fight. It's in the flyweight division. We have Kai Kara Don't Blink France, 24-10. At some books, near even, -110. He's 30 years old. He's taking on Amir Albazi, the Prince, 16-1, -110, 29 years old. And for me, this will be my second pick since I'm back. I'm gonna ride the Kai Kara France train.
Oh wow!
I'm impressed with this guy. I don't think Kai's the type. The fighter just to get a fight, just to fight. I think he's on this road to just do the very best that he can, and I think he knows that this fight is gonna put him back in a run for a title, the name at least for a chance of a title, or back to the prelims, back to the early prelims, the early start of the card. You know what I mean? I think Kai wants to show show a good performance. I think he's looking for a knockout. You know what I mean? I ran this fight through my chat GBT in my head, and I see the fight going stand-up, mostly Kai outstriking Amir. Amir going for takedowns. If Amir even can take Kai down, and that's the goal. I would take Kai down. I don't see Kai having good grappling defense. I mean, you can run it all day in practice, but when you're grappling with someone like Albazi, forget about it. Forget about it. He's fighting at Extreme Couture, so the grappling coaches there are great. So, but I'm gonna pick Kai. I think it's stand-up fight. I see an early knockout or late knockout, I should say, third round, fourth round, or decision by Kai. FE.
Dude, I have 2.10 units on Amir Albazi at -105. We are on opposite sides on this bet. Our first show back, dude, and we're going head-to-head on the main event. And I don't feel good about it because you're really good at picking underdogs. And currently, France is the underdog, technically, even though he's -105. So... the way this, playing out, obviously, Kai Kara France, the city kickboxing guy, really good wrestling in his own right, though. I feel like his grappling is getting undersold in this fight, and the striking of Amir is getting undersold in this fight. I feel like Amir will have the gas tank in this fight to, still look good and fresh in that third, fourth, fifth round, whereas Kai Kara France, dude, this guy's strength of schedule is just miles ahead of Amir Albazi. This guy has never fought someone like... I guess you could say Amir Albazi doesn't have anyone near the strength of schedule as Kai Kara France. It's insane. This guy's fought Brandon Royval twice, Pantoja, Askar Askarov. And that Askar Askarov fight, to me, is a really good indication of how I think this fight's going to go. And I think that if Askar didn't gas out in that fight, he would have won that fight. I will give credit to Kai Kara France, man. He's good at defending the back takes, good at defending the hands when he does get put in back positions. But I think that Albazi, once he does get this fight down, will be able to do significant damage and ride the rounds out. I do expect Kai Kara France to get up at some point in this fight a few times, but I think that he's going to be on him the whole fight, Albazi, that is. I will be interested to see how Albazi manages the range here in that short octagon in the apex. You take one step back and you're already on the winning track. So it's going to be interesting to see who goes forward in this fight. France was looking good in that fight against Moreno before he got finished by that body kick. He defended the takedowns well in that fight, defended the takedowns well in the Askarov fight. But I think that it's Albazi's time. I know there isn't a huge age gap in this fight. These guys are pretty much the same age. The experience definitely goes to Kai France, and a bit of a crossroads fight, man. Like how you said, if he wins, back in the title shot contention. If he loses, man, where do you go from here? I think, though, that UFC is kind of setting him up to lose here. They're going to promote this new Albazi kid. He's got to fight someone good, and Kai France answered the call. Main event slot, big time opportunity for both guys. But give me 2.10 units on Amir Albazi to win the main event. What do you think?
Well, you already know what I think. I already said it.
Yeah.
But, it's good to be back on the show. Mm-hmm. And, taking it slow. We had it took us a couple hours to reset up. But just know we got a lot of stuff planned for you guys. It's going to be In the Action 2.0. I mean, we're going to change up the game, change up the way, UFC YouTube videos are done, and just, have fun with it. Some good content and good picks at the same time.
Yeah, man. A little bit positive vibes only, man. And we've been hitting our bets on other sports as well, man. We got the Stanley Cup Finals. We have this card on Saturday, and we have the Golden Knights taking on the Florida Panthers. They're going to win the series. Put them down on your tickets. Parlay them. Knights over the Panthers. But yeah, like Martin said, super happy he's back. Super excited to see where we go from here, man. We're going to be doing this every week. We've got a pay-per-view next week, man. Amanda Nunes versus Irene Aldana. Super excited for that. And yeah, man, thanks for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think about our bets. See you guys next week. Peace.